Anyway, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture, and you can have your feet about a hip's width apart if they're down on the ground. Your knees about a hip's width apart, shoulders aligned with the hips. You feel the weight of your sits bones on the seat. Maybe the weight of your hands in your lap. And bring your attention to the crown of the head and relax your scalp and your forehead and your eyes, nose, cheeks, area around the mouth, the back of the tongue, the jaw, temples, back of the head. And allow your shoulders and shoulder blades just to drop down, relax. Relax the throat and the chest and your belly, and just allow all of your limbs just to feel loose. So in this position, we're not kind of collapsing. It's just kind of a relaxed, upright, right, very kind of present position. Notice the sensations of the breath as you inhale and exhale. The nostrils, maybe the thoracic region, the belly. Be aware of any sounds in your environment. Just allow those sounds to be there, and try not to have the mind just kind of dash off to investigate. And then, just bring some awareness to what's in your mind this evening, what thoughts are arising in the mind. So you also notice that the mind changes a lot according to what might be going on. So I had an interesting experience with my bank this afternoon. And I noticed in the middle of the night, all my accounts became a minus balance, which frightened me terribly. And could not figure out how that had happened. And I kind of was in a bit of a panic. I was running, I had to teach at the YMCA, and I came home and I'm like, this just doesn't somehow feel correct. I have to check it out. So I looked at it carefully. I went backwards and forwards from my savings account to my bank account. It's like, there's about $5,000 or $6,000 missing in their accounting. And I was like, wow, I heard stories about how money can drop out of people's accounts. And I was just like, has this happened to me? And then I couldn't get on the phone, so I chatted with them, and they're like, oh yeah, yeah, we transferred that money out. It's kind of not anywhere, but it'll come back tomorrow. So it took me a good, probably I was in this state of kind of panic from very early this morning until kind of late this afternoon. And of course, now I worked out what the issue was. I've calmed down a little bit, but it was somewhat terrifying. and also somewhat terrifying that that could even happen. No apology either. Just that's what we do. So I noticed a change in my mind from this morning, complete blind panic, to slightly, this can't be right. I need to check it out, to, oh yeah, that's the issue. And then this afternoon, I know I just have to wait. But it's been an interesting transition today. And then I had some relief in between when I was teaching. So this is kind of evidence of impermanence and change. And so it's good, would have been good if I'd remembered that when I was in my state of panic. So it's good to be maybe remember to take a step back and just view what's going on in the mind. And then bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, the strangers, ones you don't like. Also remember these relationships too can be impermanent, and they're all equal, and they wish to be happy, they wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So just think, there is no negativity that can't be purified. So we're doing this practice so we can be of benefit to others, so we can purify ourselves, so we can be a little bit more helpful. So we have to recognize that it is possible to change the mind from negative to positive. So we create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change that and create positivity instead. So starting with this power of regret, so sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and so having harmed others, we will experience suffering in the future. So we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Where do I turn? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also have an idea that this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light. And he's sitting on a lotus and a moon disk, cross-legged. It's a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and they're peaceful and they're full of love and compassion. They're looking at you and all those people of your life equally. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we have just a little section on compassion, and in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon the beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing a wish for them to be free from suffering. So developing compassion is under this idea of reliance, because we need to rely on other beings in order to, create a compassionate heart, generate a compassionate heart. So here we come to the power of remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipukaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipukaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hom pe, vajrasattva samayam manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipukaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hom pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hom pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hom pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hom pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hom pe. And be delighted that any harm you've done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And then we come to the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you just imagine all the gossip, the inappropriate speech and useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you, All of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Drita meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Drita meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So imagine your speech is now completely purified, and it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others with your speech, including you, yourself. And then the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine you walk into a room and it's pitch black, and then you just flick on the switch, and then the light comes instantly and dispels that darkness. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachments and neediness, bitterness, grudges, resentment, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Drita meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe So be delighted again. All your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others, are completely purified. It is finished. And there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. So just remember the nectar flows down, pushing out all the negativities of the body, and then the nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativities of the speech, and then the light comes and purifies all the negativities of the mind. And you think now that, this light and nectar fills you completely and eradicates absolutely everything, the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. Now, again, rejoice in your efforts for coming along tonight. I mean, everyone has something else that they could be doing at this time of day or night. So really rejoice in your efforts there. And then think about something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow, maybe. And just make a decision that I want to refrain from harming. So I'm just going to check out this part of my mind or this little habit I have. Honestly, I think most of the harm we do is to ourselves through our own speech to ourselves, the way we talk to ourselves. That might be worth investigating. So imagine that Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you want to understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. You might only even understand the word. I think the first time I heard the word was at a teaching Rinpoche gave in Australia, in Perth. It's probably the first time I met Rinpoche. We stood in line, I think maybe for 6 hours, waiting for Rinpoche to come. And so it's quite late by the time we started. And I didn't understand a thing. I first of all didn't understand Rinpoche, and then I didn't understand anything that was being said, but I did hear that word, emptiness. And I was a bit curious about that word. So anyway, if that's all you get, that's enough for the time being. So you can think of all phenomena are empty. They don't exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Oh. Okay, we'll wait.
Can you not see it?
No, we're just seeing like 4 lines.
Yeah, that's the beginning right here, Venerable. Upholding.
Here? Okay.
Yeah.
Upholding great observances, head shaven, the foremost of observances, chaste student. Oh, I see where you're going. All right. Oop. With great austerities perfected fully, he is the greatest Veda Gautama. A Brahma, knower of Brahman, arrived in full at Brahma Nirvana. Awakening its branches, liberation, release, complete tranquility, quiescence, nirvana, peacefulness, tranquility, approaching graceful entry to nirvana, the culmination, ending pain and pleasure, the state devoid of passion, free from substrates. Okay, let's just dedicate for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, for the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for all of your own individual teachers